Aizen executing Tosen felt personal because he went out of his way to do it. Remember during Tosen's final moments, Aizen was under attack by the Goatee-13, the Vizards, and on top of that he was facing Shinji one-on-one. And he still went out of his way to deliver the final blow to Tosen, which is weird to me. Aizen is a god, and people are pawns in his game, so why go out of your way to speed up the death of someone who was already dying? I believe it starts with understanding the relationship dynamic between Aizen and Tosen. It may be a bold claim to make, but Tosen and Aizen could honestly be each other's one and only truest friends. They uniquely cover each other's flaws. Aizen's flaw is that he doesn't have fear, and for the most part no equal. He understands the world from looking down on it. And then on the other side, Tosen was blind. The world he believed in was through the words of people like his best friend Kakiao. She was idealistic. She trusted the world, selling Tosen a vision that he couldn't see, but he felt it through her words, so he believed in it. When she was married off into Shinigami nobility, his internal vision was crushed. The system she wanted to change, the one she believed in, allowed her husband, Tokunaga Shiro, to walk free after he cut her down in cold blood for simply questioning him. This situation changed Tosen's view of the world, leading him naturally to Aizen, who valued Tosen's mind and presence. What we learn in Can't Feel Your Own World is that Aizen viewed Tosen and his ideals as the substance that added meaning to his world. Aizen was God, and Tosen was responsible for shaping the world he will rule over. I like to view it as Tosen being Aizen's Ichibei, and during the events of Wako Mundo, we saw a small glimpse of their world. Grimmjow went after Ichigo alone, and Tosen brought him back for punishment. In this scene, Aizen is God. He simply interpreted Grimmjow's actions as a passionate act of loyalty. So on Aizen's behalf, Grimmjow is forgiven. However, as a man and the one in charge of the hierarchy, Tosen judged Grimmjow. He defied his orders. He says it was for Aizen, but in reality, it was because he was selfish, disrespecting the established power dynamics. Tosen is the judge and moral authority. Aizen valued Tosen's judgment in defiance of his own forgiveness for Grimmjow. If Grimmjow retaliated, it would have forced Aizen's hand. Tosen's role as moral authority, serving as judge, jury, and sometimes executioner, is directly tied to his Zanpakuto, Suzumuchi, which translates to bell bug, which bell bugs are connected to death and funerals, perfect for a Shinigami. Now, as you know, it is tradition on my videos, especially my analysis, to connect the character, their Zanpakuto, and their Bankai back to the Buddhist core of Bleach. Inside of his Bankai, Suzumushi, Tsukishiki, Enma, Kurogi, you are in hell, and Tosen is the great god Enma who judges your soul, just like the great god judge Enma in Buddhism, which manga and anime fans, you should be super familiar with this concept already. Think of Great King Enma from Yu Yu Hakusho, or when Goku was granted access to Snake Way to see King Kai by King Enma. And the last piece of imagery that connects Tosen to his role as King Enma are the metal circles with kanji that you see inside of his Bankai. Each of those circles inside of that dome represents one of the 9 phases of a decomposing body. Stage 1, swelling. The body begins to expand as gases build up inside. Stage 2, rupturing. The skin breaks apart. Stage 3, bleeding. Fluids and blood seep out of the body. Stage 4, rotting. The flesh breaks down and petrifies. Stage 5, discoloration. The remains turn a blue and black color. Stage 6, consumption. Wild animals and birds eat the remaining flesh. Stage 7, scattering. Scavengers spread the parts across the ground. Stage 8, bone. Only the connected skeleton is left. And lastly, stage 9, dust. The bones eventually crumble into ashes and return to the earth. Every aspect about Tosen was crafted from how he perceived the world and how it broke him. His Zanpakuto wasn't an Asuichi he received at the academy, it was the sword he took from Kakyo's grave. Tosen was blind and his loyalties were not with Soul Society, yet still when looking back, many of Tosen's character observations were correct. Kenpachi Zaraki is a violent murderer. He killed his way into the Goatee-13, as is tradition of Squad 11. Grimmjow is pure destruction and a liability. Quite frankly, like we learned in Can't Feel Your Own World, when he tried looking for a fight, Ichibei reminds him he is only alive to protect the balance of the 3 worlds. He is too powerful to kill at the moment with the imbalance. It's hard to argue against Tosen's insight and wisdom of the current world. Aizen is a god, and maybe a monster, but even he was able to genuinely connect with Tosen through his view of the world and ideals. I do not doubt their friendship. Even when Tosen was a captain, it's just my observation, but Tosen was also a great leader. If you don't mind entertaining the idea, technically Tosen's legacy is carried on by Hisagi and Aizen. They stood opposed to each other while valuing the same ideas which gave them purpose. I believe the best parts of Tosen lives on with Hisagi, who is the prototype Shinigami. Tosen's words hold eternally true. Those who do not fear their blade have no right to hold one. The sword harms you just as much as you harm others. Hisagi understands the mistakes that come when you don't fear the power you have, but revel in it. This ideology behind fear and embracing it is a core lesson of Bleach. Tosen had it figured out when we first met him. He was already enlightened, and a huge part of his legacy is with Aizen as well. Tosen is a part of Aizen's identity before he died. I personally believe Aizen wouldn't have submitted so much to his arrogance during his evolution with the Hogiku if Tosen was still at his side. So how do we go from Aizen, a god who valued his right hand, whose philosophy transcended enemies and allies, to giving Tosen the old Yeller treatment? You see, Tosen's ideals are strong when they're in practice by others, but when Tosen puts them into practice, they fall short and they're kind of hollow. You see, Tosen's blindness is the only flaw to his beliefs. His ideas are great, but they are always tied to someone else's vision. So when he finally gets eyesight after Resurrection, his ideals erode. He traded away his power for vision that he technically never needed. Suzumushi Hyakushiki Grillo translates to bell bug, 100th ceremony, chirping cricket. What's missing from the name of Tosen's resurrection is the title of Enma, the judge of the dead, is gone. I view Bankai akin to spiritual enlightenment. As you come to know your true self, you manifest it into reality. That's what Suzumushi Tsukishiki Enma Kurogi was. Tosen was blind, but his ideals and judgments were genuine to his experience and heart. He earned that Bankai. However, his resurrection returns to him the one thing he never needed, which was eyesight. And in exchange for that, he just simply becomes Grillo. And that's it. Tosen's gone. Whoever this ugly bug form is just the way Tosen internally saw the world, and now he's physically become that. He sarcastically tells Hisagi that he never had fear, and his only real fear was dying as a Soul Reaper, just completely betraying everything that he's built up, completely sidestepping everything that he said about fear, reveling in his own power. Gaining eyesight for Tosen just gave him a huge ego, chained him to the physical world. He regressed from enlightened, just destined to be another soul stuck in samsara again. And that's why Aizen needed to end Tosen by his own hands. Technically throughout Bleach, Tosen dies 3 times. The first death was at his own hands, sacrificing his original self for holification. The second death is at the hands of Hisagi, who brought down that corrupted version of Tosen. And the third death is by Aizen, who brought an end to the reflective version of Tosen. Aizen truly did believe in Tosen's ideals. It gave purpose to the world he wanted to be God over. I believe by the end, in the eyes of Aizen, Tosen's Grillo form was a deviation from the same person Hisagi believed in. Aizen didn't need Tosen to evolve. Tosen was already enlightened through his ideals about justice, fairness, and morality. His holification was a regression from those ideals. This dying version of Tosen, who could see, is a stranger to even himself. So Aizen, battling through the Goatee 13, the Vizard, with Shinji right in front of him, made sure that he could do the greatest thing that any friend could do to someone who has lost himself. He took out Tosen, executing him as the man that he was versus just letting him die as some reflective shell, apologizing to a world that should honestly be apologizing to Tosen. But that's all for me. Let me know what you guys think down below. I like talking with you guys. I like hearing you in the comment sections. Conversation is where I thrive at. Follow, subscribe, turn on alerts, do all the cool stuff to stay caught up with me, Zaku Zealot. It's not Cafe Zealot anymore. It's not Manga Zealot. I fought hard for it, but all of my branding is now consistent across all my platforms. I want to build this community. I want you guys to know who you're talking to. You're not talking to some like guy behind the screen or like an AI or anything like that. I might do a faceless video like here or there, but it'll always just be me. And yes, my name is reflective of the fact that I love Gundam just as much as I love Bleach. But that's a different video for a different day.